The rain had ceased. The sky, once fierce and swollen with wrath, now stretched wide and blue, a mirror of peace after judgment. The mountain of Judi stood like a monument to divine power, its slopes glistening with dew and the scent of new life. From its heights the survivors gazed upon the reborn world, rivers tracing fresh paths, the soil rich and dark, and the whisper of the wind carrying promise instead of doom. Nuh, peace be upon him, walked upon the soft ground, every step filled with awe. The air was pure, untouched by the smoke of idols or the poison of pride. The trees were small but alive, bending gently as though greeting their maker. The animals wandered out from the ark in pairs, deer, wolves, lions, doves, all moving with strange harmony, as if they too remembered the hand that saved them. Then came a moment unlike any before. The sky darkened briefly, not with storm, but with radiance. A great arc of light spread across the heavens, shimmering hues of red, gold, and violet intertwined. The people shielded their eyes in wonder, and Nuh's voice broke the silence. "It is a sign," he said softly, his face lifted to the sky. "A covenant between the Lord of the worlds and all living beings, that never again will the earth be destroyed by flood." And so the rainbow became the mark of mercy upon the horizon, a bridge between judgment and forgiveness. In the days that followed, Nuh and his sons built homes near the mountain's base. They worked the soil, planted seeds from the ark's stores, and raised stones for shelter. The prophet led them in prayer each dawn and dusk, his voice echoing through the valleys, a song of gratitude, remembrance, and renewal. Years passed, and the new world began to bloom. Rivers grew strong, herds multiplied, children were born, the first generation of the new age. They called their land Ararat, and their people the children of Nuh. Nuh, though aged by centuries, still walked among them with the calm authority of a father and the light of revelation upon his face. His hair had turned white as the clouds above, but his eyes still burned with divine certainty. He taught his people wisdom, to live justly, to honor truth, and to keep the memory of the flood alive as a warning and a lesson. "Never forget," he would say, standing before his gathered descendants, "that arrogance drowned the world once. When men turn their hearts from the truth, the sea rises again, not always with water, but with pride, war, and greed. Guard your hearts, for corruption begins not in the earth, but in the soul." The people listened and obeyed. For a time, peace ruled the earth. But time is a river, and even the purest waters can grow dark when the banks forget the source. As generations passed, the memory of the flood softened into legend. The grandchildren of those who had seen the ark began to speak of it as myth. The rainbow became just a pretty light in the sky. Men built new cities, carved idols in secret, and told their children that power came from their own hands, not from heaven. Nuh saw it before it fully began. He would sit at night beneath the stars, watching the fires of distant settlements flicker in the valleys below. His heart would ache, not with fear, but with sorrow. He knew the pattern, the rise, the fall, the forgetting. It was the way of men. One night his eldest son, Sam, came to him. "Father," he said gently, "the world is new,
Yet man already turns away. Is this our fate, to repeat the sins of the past? Nuh placed a hand on his son's shoulder. The seed of good and evil was planted in us at the beginning. Our duty is to nurture the good, not to destroy the soil. There will come prophets after me, men of truth who will remind the nations again. Until the final day, the message will not die. Psalm bowed his head. And what of us, your children? You will spread across the lands. Each of you will father nations. Psalm, your descendants will dwell in the lands of faith and knowledge. Ham, your line will move to the fertile valleys and warm coasts. Japheth, your children will travel to the wide plains and cold mountains. Together your blood will flow through all mankind. But remember this, though your tongues and faces differ, your soul is one. The prophet then raised his hands to the sky. O my Lord, make them righteous, let them remember you when I am gone. The years continued their slow march. Nuh lived long after the flood, nearly 1,000 years upon the earth. He watched generations rise and fall, his words carried like the wind, sometimes heard, often ignored. His beard grew silver like frost, and his hands trembled when he lifted them in prayer, yet his heart remained steady. When his time came near, the heavens glowed softly over the mountain once more. The faithful gathered around him. His sons knelt close, their eyes filled with tears. "O my people," he said, his voice quiet but strong, "the world was drowned, yet mercy prevailed. Hold fast to that mercy. Worship the one who made you and me. For he is closer to you than the rain upon your skin and the breath within your chest." He smiled then, the weary, knowing smile of one who had seen both the ruin and the rebirth of the world. And as dawn broke, he whispered the final words of his covenant. "The earth is yours, but the heart belongs to God." The light touched his face, and Nuh, peace be upon him, departed from this world, not with fear, but with peace. The people buried him near the mountain, and the earth trembled gently as if bowing to its first rebuilder. The rainbow shone again across the valley, faint yet eternal, a reminder that even after the greatest storm, the promise of light endures.